Hello everyone, and welcome to the Peddling Prince's Podium. I'm your host, John Nardelli, and I've got some things I need to get off my chest, some frustrations that have been bothering me for quite a while. I hate money. To explain that statement, it's not that I wouldn't want to be rich in today's society, which revolves around money. But what I'd like to see is a society which doesn't revolve around money in the first place. Now, I am not an economist. When it comes to money, I'm as stupid as a stump. I'm fairly intelligent when it comes to the English language and the human nature, the human condition, philosophy, and such. But when it comes to money, I am completely and totally lost. So I'm not saying I have an alternative economic system that wouldn't revolve around money. I have no idea how such a thing would work. But I'll tell you, if someone else ever figures one out, I will praise the day. The reason I'm so frustrated right now is I just discovered today that I don't have enough money to pay my rent this month. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but in short, it's not that it was that I spent my money on frivolous things by any stretch. Bought a lot of groceries, paid bills. I ate out a couple of times, to give Marie and I a little treat one little bit, but I didn't buy a Ferrari. I didn't even buy a Geo or a used car or a small computer. I didn't buy anything frivolous at all. Did no repairs on the bike, but anyway, I've made my point on that. The short of it is, even though I haven't wasted huge chunks of money, I still don't have enough. Now, how the heck does this happen? People are always telling me, well, okay, if you work harder, you'll get more money. I am a hard worker. Always have been, always will be. I was raised that way. Whenever I'm given a job to do, even if it's something I don't want to do, if you're paying me to do something, I will do it to the best of my ability and as hard as I can. I always have been like that. But it doesn't seem to get me anywhere. No matter how hard I work, I never make enough money. The old expression, too much month at the end of the money, comes to mind. And the thing is, so what am I supposed to do? I mean, it seems to me that money is too complicated to begin with. I look at some of these things you can get, your Canada savings bonds or your retirement plans and loans, credit cards, or equity loans, or just things off the top of my head, mortgages and so on. I've looked at how these things work, and frankly, I'm at a loss. I understand the basic principle behind how money works. For example, I know that different currencies from different countries are worth different amounts against each other, and I understand in general why the values are different. However, if you sat me down in the stock market and I had to try to figure out why a currency was higher or lower in one country than another, I'd be totally hopeless, lost. I couldn't do the stock market thing. The speculation on how this works, way over my head. I'm fairly intelligent when it comes to the English language, dramatics, philosophy, human condition, but when it comes to numbers, not my strong suit. And that's what's frustrating. I have the distinct impression that maybe, if I understood how money worked better, I might have more of it. But I don't understand how it works. And all I really want is to have enough money to be able to not just support myself, but live a little. I'm not asking for enough to buy a new computer every couple of years. But I am asking for enough to be able to go out and eat once in a while. Maybe once or twice a week, or maybe even once every couple of weeks would be fine. Maybe go out to a movie once in a while, or treat Marie to something. Be able to get something decent for her birthday and for Christmas, and get decent Christmas and birthday presents for all of my family and friends. But I can't, no matter how hard I work. It just doesn't seem fair. And that's why I have such a problem with money. And I know, now, I'm not in the worst possible condition. There are people out there who are homeless on the streets because they don't have any money at all. And there are people with mental problems that are struggling to get by with minuscule social assistance checks. There are people with a little more brains who are trying to get by with bigger but still not big enough social assistance checks. And then there are those who are working like myself but can't get ahead because they're stuck in a dead-end job perhaps, or if they're not stuck in a dead-end job, they can't get enough hours because the business can't get enough business because of the poor economy. So it kind of self-perpetuates. And this is why I just think that money, the whole system, is flawed. Because ultimately, the people who deserve to have things often don't have them, and the people who don't deserve them often do. Because to explain that, there's dishonest ways to get money. You can steal it. You can sell drugs. You can, manipulate books, cookbooks, and embezzle money. You can sell things that don't work, or sell fake products, or bilk people out of their money by tricking them into giving them your money. And all of these things are deplorable, reprehensible things to do, but ultimately there are people who get rich taking advantage of other people, while the honest people sometimes get shafted. There are some honest people who get rich too, and some dishonest people who get shafted. But you know what I'm getting at? It doesn't seem to have any relevance to how hard a person works or what they're worth in society. I am not an economist. I already said money, I only have the vaguest idea how it really works in the world. So I'm not going to say that or even pretend that I have any idea what the solution to this is. I do know this, however. In the Star Trek universe, in the movie Star Trek First Contact, Lily, the woman from the 21st century, happens to ask Captain Picard how much the Enterprise costs. His exact response to her, word for word, was, "The economics of the future are somewhat different. You see, money doesn't exist in the 24th century. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity." I love that sentiment. And, I've always been a Star Trek fan. And I'm not as big a fan of it now as I was in the past. I used to be one of those Star Trek geeks, but that's a discussion for another time. The fact is, when I heard that, we work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity, I thought to myself, now that is the way the world should work, if you ask me. Because if we all just took care of each other, then we wouldn't have to worry about our individual needs. Because someone would always be there to take care of us, and we would always be there to take care of someone else. Maybe then we'd have enough time to create our art, to create our music, to create our films like I'm doing here, or anything else that we wish to do that actually takes that next step to actually improve the human condition. So what's the alternative to money? I don't know. But I do hope that somebody figures it out sooner or later. I'd like to see it within my lifetime, but even if it doesn't happen, if it happens at all, it'll be a step forward for humanity. Thank you for watching the Peddling Prince's Podium. I'm your host, John Ardelli, and I hope to see you all again here next week. Bye for now.